I'm at Singapore airport and on my way to the 4th talk on my EO tour. I've been to Manila, Jakarta, Perth, and now to Johannesburg. And the reason I'm making this video is a little bit of frustration, and I'll tell you why. I've been watching so many speakers and authors and thought leaders really not doing anything malicious, putting their best foot forward, but telling the world what needs to happen, but not how. And the future is not really about what anymore, it's all about how. How do we go about doing these things? You see, trend specialists and futurists are really great at curating the future and showing it to an organization, an executive team. And that is almost boring and done. And I'll tell you why. Everybody's got access to all of these things. Google is ubiquitously giving us information. TikTok is some of the best search engines out there. As an executive and as a leader, you can Google and YouTube anything you want. And so when people ask me and organizations ask me to come and tell them what are the disruption trends, what are the fintech trends, my response always is that's irrelevant for two reasons. One, it's changing at such a rate. What is changing? The trends are changing. So whatever your executive team is looking at on the top 10 trends this quarter, it's almost going to guarantee change in no time. And two, is anybody can look it up. Anybody can buy a WGSN report and anybody can do that. And so what is almost irrelevant? What's the most relevant thing that I can see today is how. How do you change? How do you shift your organization? How do you shift your own thinking into thinking broader and more courageously? Now you see, neuroscience is proving to us that we have between 60 and 70,000 thoughts a day, of which 90% are the same thoughts as yesterday. And it means that no matter how many trend reports you look at and how many speakers you have at your conference and how many authors, books that you're reading that are telling you the top 10 things you should do in disruption, the top 10 things you should do in innovation, your inability to change your behavior stops you from applying any of those principles and any of those theories. So look, what is irrelevant? The future is about how. How do you become adaptable? How do you unlearn? And all of this comes down to neuroscience. All of it comes down to understanding how your brain operates and how you go about unlearning behaviors and how do you become naturally more adaptable. If you're not asking yourself this question as an executive or as a leader, you're doing really a pointless job of just looking at another speaker and reading another book. The future is not about how, it's not about what, it's about how. And how becomes the imperative thing to be thinking about. Ciao from Singapore.